Hey everybody, so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about livestock guardian dogs. This is our newest girl. This is our newest addition to the family. This is Esther, and as you can see, she is a tired girl. But I want to talk to you a little bit about livestock guardian dogs and introduce you to a couple of our other dogs because of the importance of having livestock guardian dogs on the homestead. My husband and I got livestock guardian dogs for the first time about 5-6 years ago. With actually Samson right here and his brother Titus. And unfortunately, Titus got out when we moved here in October, and both of them actually got out. And hi, Samson. Samson came home, Titus never did. So, but we're happy that we at least still have one of our old boys. But we got Samson and Titus, like I said, about 6 years ago, when we had a homestead, and we had about 30 sheep at the time, the sheep that we brought onto this property, and also had 60 chickens. Now this is this was the second batch of chickens that we had, and this is Ezra. This is the second batch of chickens that we had when we got Samson and Titus, because of the fact that we were actually had electric fencing around the property, and we're not having any problems with foxes or any kind of land predators. Yep, oh, he's so vicious looking. We were having no problems with any kind of land predators. We were having problems with aerial predators. And the aerial predators were actually bald eagles. They had figured out that we had chickens, and they were just swooping down and taking our birds. And it was one of those things where we knew that we could not really do anything. We had 10 acres, and our chickens were free range. And we realized that there was nothing we could really do. Hey, Samson. Nothing that we could really do for the aerial threat on a 10-acre piece of property. And we wanted our chickens to remain free range. So we definitely weren't going to coop them up or anything like that. I mean, we do that at night, but not during the day. We want them to eat. And so what we would do is we got Samson and Titus, who were actually, they were 2 years old, both of them, and already fully trained. And they were able to keep the aerial predators at bay. And so they would bark at birds overhead. And that's one of the great things about, especially the Great Pyrenees. I mean, Anatolian Shepherds do it too. But Great Pyrenees are definitely trained to watch out for the aerial predators as well as the land predators. Esther right here, actually, she is a giant fluff ball, as you can see, but she is a Great Pyrenees, 3/4 Great Pyrenees, quarter Anatolian Shepherd. Samson's 100% Great Pyrenees, and Ezra is Anatolian, 50% Anatolian, and like 50% Border Collie. So we got a little bit different types around here. And initially, like I said, we only had the 2 Great Pyrenees. But the reason you really do want to have at least 1, if not 2, livestock guardian dogs is for the fact of the aerial predators. They do help keep them away. I mean, our dogs don't even let like great blue herons land on our property. But they keep the aerial predators away. They also scare the land predators. Last night, we actually heard, or I heard, I think my husband slept through it, tons of coyotes just going off like crazy. And I heard all our dogs actually were barking at them, and it's one of those things where there's a reason why we have more than one, because that way they have backup. That's why we got Samson and Titus together, is there would be backup for each other. Also, dogs have a way of patrolling. Like, they know how to patrol the property and everything else. And, you know, our dogs know the area that they're allowed in, and they walk it. You know, you can see kind of like a fence line right here. That's the perimeter. And then over here, that's the perimeter of our 10 acres that we have electrified right now. Anyways, we have electric fencing around that 10 acres. And then we got 10 more acres in the front and 20 in the back. But they know that this is the 10 acres that we want them on right now. This is the 10 acres where we have our sheep. And I'll actually go ahead and take you out there as well too. And so we heard the coyotes going off last night. And it was fantastic because our dogs were going off as well too. And they're a deterrent. Now, can they keep every single coyote off this property? Probably not. But they can definitely be a huge deterrent. Hey, Ezra. They can definitely be a huge deterrent to any coyote that's wanting to come onto the property. Another reason why we have the electric fencing around the around the perimeter of the property is because of the fact that our dogs cannot be everywhere at all times. Our dogs cannot be on all 10 acres at every single second patrolling every single part of the property. We actually had the other night, I heard a dog. My husband and I were actually awake. It was actually probably about a week ago. My husband and I were up talking, and it was later. It was probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden we hear a yelp, like a really loud yelp. And knew for a fact it was a dog. And knew for a fact it was none of ours because our female Great Pyrenees was inside with us. And our 2 male dogs are fully trained on electric fencing and know for a fact do not touch it. And so that meant that a dog, someone else's dog, or a coyote that was trying to come onto our property, and it was out here actually towards the sheep, like from the sound where the yelp came from, was out this way, and obviously it got shocked and went away because our dogs went flying off. Like I heard them barking and going crazy and flying off towards the sound, and then they're sniffing all around and everything else, but no sign of any dog. The only sign that we saw was over here past where the sheep are now. There was some fencing that I saw that had been, our bottom strand of electric fencing had been kind of pulled off one of the posts a little bit. And so that is one of the benefits of having electric fencing and livestock guardian dogs is livestock guardian dogs are definitely a huge deterrent. They also protect. If something does get out in the property, they will be there to help protect the animals, protect us, and everything else. And if you'll notice, Ezra is right here with me. This dog is, by the grace of God, he actually showed up on our property as an 8-week-old puppy. And I say 100% that God brought him to us because he knew I needed him. And I've never really seen a dog that has been so innately good at not being, we have trained him on obedience and stuff like that, but he innately knows to protect and to guard and to stand watch and everything else. And so it's been really cool to see that. But like I said, with our electric fence and everything, our dogs can't be everywhere at all times. So we have, as you see here, electric fencing to help protect the sheep. Now the sheep are in an electrified fence paddock. So this is technically a paddock of electric fencing. And then on the outside perimeter, I don't know if you can see it real well, but along that fence line, there's also electric fencing. So not only do we have 3 livestock guardian dogs, but we also have 2 layers of electric fencing to help protect our livestock. And when we get chickens in the spring, our chickens are going to be free-range chickens. So, that's going to be something that, they're going to have to be protected as well too. And, our dogs will take care of them. They're so far, the two male dogs are good with smaller animals, and we're going to have to make sure that the female Pyrenees, as she came from a farm where literally I saw videos of her walking around with ducks and chickens and just hanging out with them. So I have a feeling she'll be just fine, but it's one of those things where you can't take for granted either that your livestock guardian dog is going to be this perfect, picture of protection. As you can see, he's just walking near it. He's not trying to chase them or anything. He's just walking around it. And the sheep are still, respect the fact that there's a dog on the outside, but he's not trying to do anything to them. But it's one of those things where you still do have to make sure you train your dogs. You have to train them to listen to you, listen to your commands. You have to train them to make sure that they know, what to protect and what not to protect, and that, they understand what is a threat and what is not a threat. And if you tell them to stop barking, they stop barking. So it's one of those things, guys. It's definitely good to have redundancy. Like I said, we have the 3 livestock guardian dogs. We have 2 sets of electric fencing, one immediately around the sheep and one around the perimeter of the property. And it's all in an effort to try to protect our flock. It's something I've talked about many times in different videos, is protecting your flock and making sure you're doing that. And that's probably part of the initial infrastructure that you actually have to think about before you even get livestock, is how you're going to protect them. And I would say the dogs definitely do a dang good job. Something with livestock guardian dogs, though, it's kind of funny, is half the time they look like they're dead in the middle of the day because they're so tired. Livestock guardian dogs are nocturnal, which is a good thing because at night you're not there to protect the property because you're sleeping. So you have your dogs to protect the property. So a lot of times during the middle of the day, as you saw, Samson, Ezra, and Esther were all laying down. Samson and Ezra had a very busy night last night protecting and patrolling the property. And Esther we're allowing her to learn at certain times, you know, guided learning right now to make sure she's doing what she needs to be doing. But it's one of those things where, you know, your dogs may sleep a lot through the day. That's totally fine because they're protecting at night. But I don't know if you can hear it now. I hear Samson barking right now because there's birds flying overhead. There's some vultures actually next door, so he's barking at the vultures. So it's pretty cool, guys. Livestock guardian dogs, definitely, if you have a homestead with any kind of animals, even if you have just like maybe like chickens and ducks and stuff like that, it's still a really good idea to have some livestock guardian, at least, like I said, a livestock guardian dog. If you're in a very small space, like obviously you shouldn't be having like 5 or 6 livestock guardian dogs or anything like that. It should also be based off the size of your property, how many you think you need for that size. But they are very good to have. They do protect against aerial as well as ground predators. And if they're trained properly, man, they can be, I kid you not, Samson has literally been like the best dog we've ever met. The big white one that I showed you earlier. When we first got him, our middle daughter was a baby, and she reached up and literally, like, he was sniffing her, and she reached up and literally ripped fur out of his face, and he just wagged his tail like, oh, hey, that's exciting. Thanks for doing that. Like, they know people are above them. So it's, again, something you have to train them to know, but at the same time, livestock guardian breeds are typically bred for that kind of obedience as well too. So there's a lot of things they're bred for. But if you do have any questions, I'm not going to keep going on forever about this because I could, because I love my dogs. But if you do have any questions, you can't even see Ezra right now. He is like over there. So can you imagine? And at night, having a black livestock guardian dog, man, guys, it is scary. They haven't realized I walked out of the house before, and then I've been walking back up the driveway, and I can hear Ezra barking at me, and I tell him it's okay, it's me, and then he immediately stops, but I can't see where he is at all. And that makes me really excited because the white dogs you can see at night, but him, he's a complete and total shadow. But if you do have any questions about livestock guardian dogs or the importance of them or anything like that, definitely feel free to put it in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. It's one of those things, guys, where, like I said, on the homestead, having a livestock guardian dog is important. I do want to say the other reason why it's important to have a livestock guardian dog and not just a random dog, you know, you get from who knows where, or that's like 10 different breeds or something like that, is because you don't know what those breeds will actually do to your animals. You don't know if just one day you're, you know, whatever you may have that's a mixed dog may attack your livestock and things like that, and then you're going to have to make a really hard decision there. Because I will say, once a dog attacks livestock, they're going to keep doing it over and over and over again because they got that taste for blood, guys. So it's not a good combination. So that is why we have our livestock guardian dogs, because we know that they are bred to protect these animals. So just stuff to think about, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, put it in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. And other than that, hope you all have a great day. Bye.